Hey everybody, Barcelona won again today. It said 3-0 on the scoreline. I don't think it was nearly as exciting as that sounds for the vast majority of that game. It was very slow, very flat in the beginning, and everyone in chat today was miserable. And I understand it, but there are some key talking points. I'm not even going to rate everybody today. I don't think it's worth our time just because the game was just not at all exciting for anybody. For me, for most of you probably, but there are some things that are worth focusing on. One, to start off with, I think that this team is a little pathetic right now, or at least it was for the first 60 minutes of the game. I'm just never impressed with this team right now, and I don't necessarily know what the problem is. They play very restricted for a lot of it. I'm not sure if it's Xavi's tactics or I don't know. They're very much so connected to Lamine Yamal. So I think that's why he's been getting so many minutes, which is very upsetting. The fact that Xavi isn't giving him any rest. I understand why he's not getting any rest. Xavi feels like he needs that profile desperately. We don't get it anywhere else in the squad, especially without Balde. There's no other touchline player. Cancelo is looking like one right now, but even him, normally he does his best work when he cuts inside or inverts, plays in the midfield or does that kind of thing. We don't have that. Rafinha is playing his best stuff as like a left wing. I don't know. It's upsetting to me that Lamine is getting used like this. I'm worried about him a lot, and I'm now that Sevilla game doesn't matter. We've secured second place. The Sevilla game doesn't matter. Hopefully Lamine doesn't play. Right, so that is a takeaway. Hopefully Lamine doesn't play. Kubarsi doesn't play either. It looks like Araujo is back and healthy. He looks pretty solid for the short cameo that he had. 45 minutes today, good for him. He looked good. He looked similar to the Araujo we've known for so long, and obviously he played that fantastic ball to Pedri. Watching a man that size play a ball like that, it's always good to see. And, he tried it a couple more times and it didn't work. It usually never works, but it was a great ball today. He deserves credit for it, and he looked good. So did Pedri. Pedri was the highlight of this game for me. When he came on, Lamine Yamal was great, and he deserves a lot of credit as well, but the midfield was kind of boring to me. Sergio Roberto, mid. Gundogan, fine. I don't think he was fantastic. I think he did his job. I'm not upset about him, but he was mid. When Christensen came on, I thought he was good, though. But Pedri, he came on originally, I think, as that deeper midfielder when he came on for Firmino, who had a solid game as well. He did his job, took a couple really good shots, and pressed well. A good, solid game from him. I'm a little disappointed that Pedri didn't get more minutes, but no, the guy looked great. He was moved up the field, and Gundogan then dropped back. Pedri was now playing that furthest forward midfield role that we've seen Firmino and Gundogan both play in this year. He was fantastic. Making that run in behind, and then with his deflected goal off that great Joao Felix run, which was good from him. It's nice to see him light it up a little bit, even if this game isn't that big of a deal. It's still nice to see some talent and expertise from him because we always know he has it. He just doesn't always show it. He did eventually, but again, it wasn't this like onslaught of chances created from Barcelona in the beginning of this game. I wanted to see more from them, but we saw the team improve a lot when Pedri came on. That does worry me a little bit about Firmino getting his minutes and all next year, especially with Gundogan, because they do share minutes in a weird way, I think all three of them are the best in the same position in that furthest forward midfield role, and we can't play all three at once unless we have Firmino playing as the Rafinha role, but Rafinha has been good. I don't think he was good today. He seemed pretty non-existent. I think he made less runs in behind, honestly, than he normally does. They weren't being picked out, but I don't think he was great. And I think I could say the same for Cancelo. I think he was pretty fine today, which is sad. I think that's going to be his last game in front of the Montjuic, in front of Barcelona fans. I think it's upsetting because I think he can be good, and if he were cheaper, he would be an easy signing. I don't connect, but I feel for him for his story. When he lost his mother and everything, he's a good dude. He is just, we financially can't make it happen. It isn't feasible, and it's not necessary right now. So it is what it is. But a 3-0 victory is a 3-0 victory. Plus, we saw Vitor Roque, and that was fun. I finally got a little invested in the match when he came on. I'm happy that Xavi is bringing him on in these games. Like, look, someone in chat said it was disrespectful to even play him for this short amount of time. he would much rather have minutes than not have minutes, even if it is in garbage time. It's also when the team started picking up, and I actually thought Roque was pretty good today. He was doing things better than he has recently, and you could tell he was still a little bit mistiming with his touches and with his connection with his teammates, but I think he looked a little bit more like the player I see in the highlights from the Brazilian league. So it's nice to see that. It's nice to see him getting closer to that. And so I'm excited to hopefully see him against Sevilla. I think he should start. I think it should probably be Roque, Ferran Torres, and probably Rafinha to give him maybe his last start for Barcelona, depending on what happens. But I don't know. I really am uncertain about what's going to happen in the future. But today, it felt like a mid game. I don't know if it was just my expectations for what was to happen, but these guys were, I don't know. They were fine defensively, but Rayo still had some chances, which they're always going to have in every football match. But I just didn't feel like we dominated in a way I would have wanted them in that first half. We did eventually find it. I think Inigo was good today. I've been very critical of him, so I want to give him credit. He defended where he needed to, and he did his job. He deserves credit for it. No more needs to really be said there. Kubarsi, I think he was fine. I think he got around his attacker a couple times on breakaways, which was solid. But I don't think he was miraculous. Played a couple good balls, though. And Ter Stegen, he was in the right place at the right time. I don't think he made miraculous saves, but he didn't make mistakes today. And maybe this was the last start at home for him as well. And I think that's the story of this match for me, that a lot of these players might have had their last cameos for Barcelona in front of FC Barcelona fans. We might have just seen the last of Sergio. We're probably not going to see the last of Sergio Roberto, but maybe him, maybe Ter Stegen, potentially Araujo. Someone said that's what an announcer said. I disagree with that profoundly. I think he's staying at Barcelona, and same for Koundé, but he could go as well. Rafinha could go. Lewandowski could. I don't think he will. Firmino, maybe. I don't think he's going anywhere, but everything's a little up in the air, and it's a little worrying, right? Not worrying, but with the way this team is being managed, not just by Xavi, but by Laporta. God, it's exhausting for me, who's trying to create content for you and talk about FC Barcelona, and I'm sure for the fans, and I'm absolutely certain for the players. I don't know how you could walk into a game knowing all the disaster that's going on and perform at your best. It's a lot, but I think we do deserve some credit because Madrid lost or tied 4-4 today, and Atletico Madrid got railed 4-1 by Osasuna. We came out with a dub, so did Girona, but we secured second place. We don't have to worry about missing the Supercopa, which means we have complete freedom going into the Sevilla match, which is huge. Hopefully we see some exciting players come in. I want to see Pedri. The ideal lineup I would like is Roque through the center, Ferran Torres on the left playing in that, Mazzala inverted striker inverted winger situation. And on the right wing, maybe Rafinha, maybe someone from La Masia, anybody. Cancelo on the right wing for all I care. Not Lamine Yamal. Anybody but Lamine Yamal. Through the center, I would love to see Christensen as the deepest player, Pedri and Firmino both sharing that flying up forward responsibility. And then at the back, I'd probably play Cancelo on the right, Hector Ford on the left, and then Araujo and Koundé maybe centrally, or Araujo and Inigo. But something like that. I'd like to see Fort get more minutes. I'd like to see Firmino and Pedri play together, and I would also love to see Roque get 60 minutes of football for Barcelona. I think he can be good. I think he needs more trust, and he looked better today than he has recently, and that's a good sign. But overall, this team wasn't brilliant, wasn't incredible. Today, it was a little flat, a little uninspired until Pedri came on. I think it really got exciting, especially when he moved up the pitch. It was fun after that to watch, and especially with Roque coming on as well. It was fun. It was more exciting. It brought a little something to the game that I feel like it didn't have. Yeah, that's all I got to say about this game. I'll make it quick. There's not a ton to talk about. But, hey, we won. Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid didn't. So, 3-0 win is pretty good. If you haven't seen it yet, there's a Fermin Lopez video up on the main channel, so check it out. I'll link it right here, and stay tuned. I have a Rafinha video coming out in a couple days. So thanks for watching. Visca Barca, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.